Conscious Observer here. I am back with another video. I definitely want to wish each and every one of you all a happy new year. May this year be a blessed one for you all, and may your health be fully protected and intact for the rest of this year. And for those who have been left behind in 2020 and weren't fortunate enough to live to see 2021, may your souls rest in peace. I think some of us all have experienced some sort of loss and misfortune in 2020. And I think those who have made it to 2021 definitely have a lot to be thankful for, right? So with that being said, I definitely want to do a brief prediction video to put my predictions out there for 2021. Sorry if I am coming in kind of low. I have some things going on in the background. But I'm going to try to be as loud and clear and concise as I possibly can. So, I just want to mention briefly that if you haven't seen my prior video that was done on the day of the election, November 3rd, I believe, then go check it out. It's pretty much, I think some of the things that I foreseen in that video have came to pass as well. Now, I did say that Trump was definitely going to win the election. Now, the election results won't truly be solidified, until January 20th. So we have 19 more days until. So anything can happen, right? So I left the video up. The comments under there are still disabled because I don't want anyone to get distracted. If you want to listen to it, listen to it. If you got shit to talk, go on your own platform, make a video, a rebuttal, whatever it takes, and get glad, right? So, I definitely want to say one more thing about the election video before moving on. I definitely want to say that even though Trump is not the projected winner, and he is obviously on his way out, the way that the metaphysical works, sometimes things are destined or has a large chance of happening, but once it happens on the physical side of things, or in reality rather, it changes or it varies or it has some type of differing variation to it. Many of us are meant to be so much more than we are in this physical life, but because being in this physical life and on this planet and everything that it comes with, we don't ever we don't ever end up being what we're intended to be. Most of us. Some people do come here and they have a mission that their soul was destined to complete, and they're lucky enough to discover that and complete that and go on to glory, right? But a lot of us are meant to be so much more than we are and have been, or we end up being in our lives. And for whatever reason, whether it's the outside interference of others that use their will to infringe upon your life's plan or your destiny or the powers that shouldn't be in this system that we find ourselves in, this prison planet, the system that has been that has engulfed the planet, something similar to the Matrix. Um, if you watch the movie The Matrix, especially the first movie, I really don't remember too much of the second or third Matrix. I think it kind of got too Hollywood, but if you watch the first Matrix, you really see, that our reality on this planet is so similar to that, to where you come, you portal into this planet for a purpose, but because you have to um, identify with whatever name that you are given from birth, whatever identity that you take on in this life, and everything that goes along with it, and also whatever effects that the system has on your life. Um, because these people, the people who run this planet, they want world domination. They manipulate everything from the largest events down to the small, minute events that happen every day. These people have their hands in everything. So things don't happen organically anymore. Everything is orchestrated. Everything is planned. Um, even down to the minute things as such as a sports game that you may watch, or a music video, or a movie. Everything is planned. Even 2020, everything that happened to us in 2020, there's a movie for it. Just watch Contagion. Just watch I Am Legend. Especially I Am Legend. Just watch any movie that foretold, a, a disease epidemic, a plague of some sort, getting loose, and wreaking havoc on the world's population. There's a lot of movies and TV shows that have been showing people in masks walking around, in everyday life having to wear masks on their face. And now what are we doing? We got to wear a mask before we can go into the store, and different things like that. So, whether you want to say it's, art imitating life, or, vice versa, everything is definitely orchestrated. And, how it works with the metaphysical, it's like, yes, you have a lot of things that are destined, spiritually, whether it's, gifts or your position in life or whatever, that were meant to be bestowed upon you, in your life, or you were birthed, to be a star or a singer, or, or a doctor or whatever. But then you find yourself growing up in the hood, disadvantaged, in poverty, with no money to go to medical school to become, a doctor or a nurse, or, you're not born within a family, that has the financial, ability to take you to talent shows so that you could become that singer that your soul was destined to be. Just that's how it works. So I took a long time to explain, why, Agent Orange 45, yours truly, Trump, isn't looking like he's going to have his second term, but he definitely was guaranteed and reassured that he would have 2 terms. You can go and watch one of the Simpson episodes, that foretold his, presidency. that predicted it. I wouldn't necessarily call it a prediction, because anything that they show us on film, it's they add a whole bunch of bull to it, a whole bunch of fluff, but a lot of it is meant, the main points are basically meant to tell you what they're going to do to you, because that's their motto. That's kind of like their modus operandi, right? That's pretty much how they operate. Like, they got to tell you what they're going to do to you before they do it to you. That's kind of how that's the laws in which they operate by. Because if they feel like, well, look, I warn, the populace of what's to come, and if they do nothing about it, then they're basically giving in, and they're basically, allowing, and accepting and willing it to happen. Because we all are given free will from birth, but you have the will to fight against something. You have the will to not do anything, even if you don't know. For a prime example, in the Bible it says you're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? Now, that lack of knowledge, as unfortunate as it may be that you don't know, you still can be destroyed for not knowing. It happens to us all the time. Let's just say you owe the IRS and you don't know. Now, before they end up sending you a certified letter, letting you know that they're going to start garnishing your wages until whatever debt that they claim that you owe accumulates interest, they're going to basically let it accumulate interest. And the whole time, you don't know about it. So you're basically going on with your life, living life, not knowing that you owe them anything, all so that they, can, make sure that debt gets to a certain amount of interest and and money, so then they can finally be like, okay, look, you owe us. Now we can start, it's at a certain amount to where we can start, threatening you to garnish your wages, and that fear is what make you, bust your ass to give them whatever they want, right? So, yeah, you're still destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And so even though we might not be privy, to a lot of these, movies or, the things that they do to let us know what is coming down, the pike, they have their subtle ways of warning us, and us not doing anything about it, and instead choosing to be willfully ignorant or unknowingly ignorant, we opt into it. And so therefore, like, they can't be held accountable, for anything that they do to us, because they warn us. So that's pretty much how they operate. And maybe one day I'll come back and do a video on that. But yeah, let's get to these predictions. I'm already 13 minutes in. I could talk my ass off. So yeah, these are channeled messages. I do channeling of my spirit guides, and I ask questions, and whatever I hear, I write down. Okay, right before I get into the predictions for 2021, I definitely want to put this disclaimer out there. I am not a licensed physician. I am not a doctor. I am in no way trying to tell anyone what to do with their bodies or giving them medical advice in any way. So I definitely want that to be stated. And this video is for educational purposes. And also, it's definitely my opinion. And with that, I think I'm going to start it up. Okay, first question: is Corona going to get better in 2021? The answer I received was no. It will continue to spread like wildfire. And pretty much with the wave that is coming next, it is going to mostly affect women and children. It will continue to wreak havoc on the elderly and those who have compromised immune system and other health issues. I got that it was designed in a laboratory, a US laboratory, years prior to it being deliberately released on the Earth's population. I got the phrase ethnic cleansing. And I also got that coronavirus was genetically engineered to target and take out certain races, certain populations, and people with certain genes. There are several strains of coronavirus and several mutations of coronavirus. And I also got that there's another virus that is separate from corona that will make its presence known pretty soon during this year of 2021. Let me continue. There are multiple strains of coronavirus that have been released and that are currently circulating around the globe. Okay. Let's see. Because when I'm channeling these messages, it comes in so quick. Sometimes I end up scribbling. So if I am reading a bit strange, or it sounds choppy, or I am reading too slow, I'm definitely trying to decipher some of the the scribble when it comes to the answers that I wrote down. So let me see. So different mutations of this virus have already been released. It didn't kill as many of people as they originally expected. So that is why they basically had to go in and release further mutated strands of corona, so that people who are skeptical about taking the vaccine will be so fearful that they will be more inclined to take the vaccine. And also, if people are still apprehensive about taking the vaccine, let me turn the page off. It might make some noise. So if people are still apprehensive about taking the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine, or the coronavirus vaccine, whatever it's called, they will be publicly shamed. And then they will ultimately be forced to take it. So, yeah. Okay, next question. I asked, is it safe to take the COVID vaccine? And if not, then why? The answer I received was no. Many people will die from taking the vaccine. And if they don't die, they will develop harsh, adverse side effects that they will have for the rest of their life. And continuing, there will be little to no compensation for vaccine damages. So if anything happened to you, you're not even eligible to sue or to get any compensation. Okay? All right, so in continuing, there have already been people who have suffered adverse side effects and have also died shortly during and shortly after the COVID vaccine test trials, but many of them are too afraid to come and speak out. They're being suppressed, and the ones that are brave enough to speak out are being threatened, shamed, and even threatened with death or being killed. The COVID vaccine causes paralysis, seizures, brain damage, blood clots, organ and tissue damage. And I also got something really strange. I got the phrase dormant over time, / illnesses and diseases. So pretty much what I get from that is that there would be things within the COVID vaccine that may not show right away. So the adverse side effects may not show right away. It might be 5 to 10 years down the line after taking the vaccine where all of a sudden you develop cancer. And it'll be so far, removed from you taking the vaccine to where you won't even be able to prove the connection to the vaccine being, what caused the cancer. So, yeah, that's really scary. Other side effects, sterility in men. So low sperm count are next to nothing. So sterility in men and women. I also spoke about this in the election video. So if any of you are interested in comparing some of the predictions from this video to that one, definitely feel free. Birth defects in pregnant women, and those who have taken the COVID vaccine and survived will be asymptomatic / super spreaders. So what I got from that is people who are who have taken the vaccine, they can potentially infect others because they're going to be asymptomatic carriers of the COVID virus. Isn't that scary? Okay, next question. Will the economy of the United States get better? And will small businesses open back up? So the answer that I got was no. There would be a major increase in poverty and homelessness, famine, lack of food, inequality, injustice, lawlessness, and a increase in the prison population / forced labor / without specific charges or court hearings, long waits for a court date to be issued. That was kind of scary to me because it made me think about possibly being locked up. You probably don't even know what your charges are, and they're basically holding you as long as they want to without you going before a judge and being issued a bail. So yeah, that's really scary. And the even scarier part is that this comes back up with some of the one of the other questions that I asked later on. So let me get through this as fast as I can. Okay, so the middle class will be practically gone. The rich get richer while the poor get poorer. Almost no middle class. Capitalism only for the rich, or mostly for the rich, rather. Small businesses will try their best to stay around, but will struggle, then die out because of all of the city and state closures. City and state closures will continue because of the constant fear of COVID levels and mutations. Next question. Let me turn the page. I think it's going to be the next question, but let's see. Okay, I lied. It's a continuation of the same question. Okay. This is happening all by design because they, and when I say they, the powers that shouldn't be, want to control everyone's spending, where people live, and what people are doing at all times. Said rights are almost gone. Freedom of speech and gun ownership are almost gone. Mass shootings, more mass shootings to keep people on lockdown. And that pretty much is going to be what fuels the gun confiscation. Okay. Next question. Even though this question is a bit redundant, I'm going to read it anyway. Will life get back to normal how it was before COVID-19? The answer I got was no. New World Order. I got that in like parentheses, okay? So, this is just the beginning. So 2020 was just the beginning. This is just the beginning. The system the world is going in has been centuries in the making. Let's see. No turning back now. Cashless society coming soon. The dollar will and must fall around the world, and lastly in the U.S. War or / World War III will be coming to the shores of America. Let's see. It also says to store food, to stock up on water, and also to do this while food and water is still available. And it wanted me to put, they wanted me to put emphasis on time is short. So I don't know. I wasn't given, the day nor the hour when this is supposed to go down, but I was definitely given a sense of urgency. They also said to hide all of your food and weapons because soldiers will be going from door to door on American streets searching for food reserves, weapons and ammo. Open occupation of U.S. streets by the military Humvees and tanks will be, basically patrolling the streets of America. Checkpoints from state to state, and even checkpoints possibly from city to city. Must be vaccinated to travel freely and to work, and even to make groceries. Must have a vaccine pass. By the end of 2021, going into 2022, travel bans will be strictly enforced, and vaccine passes, those with vaccine passes, would be the only ones that will be able to travel freely. Next question. Will Trump step down from office? And the answer I got was yes, but against his will. He is strongly considering causing a coup over voter fraud and is strongly contemplating declaring martial law as a means to buy him more time. Some of his closest followers and advisors have been telling him not to do it, and some have been telling him to do it. But those who don't want Trump to do it have accepted the fact that he lost. He hasn't though. All right, I had to turn the page, y'all. Okay. They want the ones that have the people who follow him just want Trump to just leave in peace. Trump is even thinking about starting World War III. He's thinking about starting war with China and Iran to buy himself more time in office. I also got that something bad is going on in Saudi Arabia, or will happen. Something bad will happen in Saudi Arabia. Possible oil shortage or loss. I also got terrorist attacks in Saudi Arabia and in other allied countries to the U.S., possibly triggered by Trump to start World War III. Trump is trying to call in debt on people. I was basically given the vision of him trying to call up favors, call up some of his, homeboys in high places to try to call in favors for him. Also, I got that he is trying to blackmail some politicians, state governors, and senators behind the scenes. So this dude just really don't want to relinquish the presidency. So I'll be curious to see, what he does 18 days from now. Because let me see, I think it's January 2nd now. So yeah, January 20th is the inauguration. So we shall see. Let me finish. Let me continue. Okay, so he's trying to get help to change the election outcome. He was promised 2 terms by the powers that shouldn't be, but they reneged on their promise because they can control Joe Biden better. And they know under Joe Biden they can implement and usher in Agenda 201 or Agenda 21 / the New World Order once and for all. Trump tried to sway the American people by demanding $2,000 stimulus checks. He didn't do that from his heart. He just was trying to do it in order to, as a last-ditch effort to win over support and favor from the American people. It almost worked, but Mitch McConnell went against him and blocked him. He is so furious with his fellow Republicans right now, and he feels that most of them have turned their back on him and have betrayed him. He's getting desperate, and he doesn't want to look like a loser. So, yeah, I could totally see that, right? All right, next question. Why are celebrities selling their assets to big corporations? The answer I got was they're trying to acquire as much money as they can so they can leave the United States in the near future because they know of the impending doom that is coming to the United States and much of the world. They are taking the money and they are taking it elsewhere and buying Bitcoin. They're buying other online currencies. They're buying foreign currency as well. Um, I know that there's other online digital currencies other than Bitcoin, but that's the only one I could think of offhand. So they're investing the money that they are getting for selling their assets into digital currency and foreign currency. So let me continue. They are exchanging their money into anything that is worth more or will be worth more than the dollar is worth. They are preparing for the collapse of the United States and the collapse of the dollar. That is going to happen soon. Now, how soon, y'all? I don't know. Once again, I wasn't given a time or a date. Um, but I digress. Uh, they're selling most of their assets that they want that won't be worth um, next to nothing or anything in the future. So, with the recent sale of Lil Wayne's catalog, his masters, and the masters of Drake and Nicki Minaj, Oprah just sold most of her stock in her own network. And I want to say Timberland just stole his masters. Those are things that celebrities hold on to that end up being worth more over time. So that is really eerie. Like, people aren't going to sell, something that they can, acquire equity and interest and money from in the future. Like, that's just, so this is just really making sense to me. Because they know it's not going to be worth anything in the future. So that's why they're selling it now, before this supposed collapse that's supposedly coming, right? The new system to come, where the few at the top own everything, no middle class, and the people at the very bottom own nothing. Private ownership and just private ownership by citizens will be no more in the future of the United States. And I was told, think of the Hunger Games. And I think in the video that I did on the election, I think I mentioned something to do. I was given a vision of the Hunger Games before when I did the reading on the election. So y'all definitely go check that out. There's definitely a lot of parallels to this 2021 prediction reading that I did and the election. With the difference being, of course, Trump being elected, but I'll get to that till later. Let me get to I think I got 2 more questions left. Okay, all right. What kind of president will Joe Biden be? And will he even finish his full term in office? Okay, so the answer I got was Joe Biden is a bought and paid for president who will be controlled by hidden hands his whole presidency. He will be told what to do from day one. Joe Biden was selected, not elected. Voter fraud and voter suppression helped Joe Biden to his path to the White House. Joe Biden has no loyalty to anyone, not to the U.S., not to anyone but himself / his own interests and those who put him in office. He doesn't have any loyalty to any of the people who voted for him. You guys just go see if y'all could find that meeting that he had with the black leaders recently. I think that took place on December 8th It was a leaked Zoom meeting that he had with the NAACP and a couple of other black leaders. Um, and the way he talked to them Negroes was just like a slave master talking down, to his slaves. Man, yeah. Yeah, I'll comment on that later. Okay, so he doesn't even have loyalty to those who voted and put him in office. Um, he only has loyalty to the hidden hands that pull his strings. Um, Kamala Harris is in on it. Um, and he will solidify the death of America as we know it. I was given 2 terms to describe Joe Biden and his presidency, and the first term is the closer, and the second term I was given was the finisher. Okay, so in regards to the second part of that question about Joe Biden's presidency, I asked, will he even survive? Because he's like old as shit. And I was like, will he even survive to serve out his full term as president? And the answer I got was no. He will end up having a massive stroke, and dementia will fully set in on him. His memory will come and go. His speech will be slurred and unaudible. Wow. I definitely gotta say wow. Let me turn the page, y'all. He will be unable to move freely without the use of a wheelchair/scooter. The hidden hands who control him will try to lie about the truth of his condition as long as they can. This will take place during the last year of him being in office, and Kamala Harris will have to take over because Joe Biden won't be well enough to be brought out in public and won't be in his right mind. And I think this is the last question. How will the vice presidency of Kamala Harris be? And the answer I received was, her presidency will be a good one for those who have lined her pockets. She's going to be, basically a great president for those special interest groups who chose her / handpicked her for the vice presidency. They will be very happy with her because she is going to introduce stiffer laws and penalties that will cause more people to be incarcerated, and that will increase the prison population to double or even triple the amount that it already is under a Biden-Harris presidency. Police will have more backing, more support, more money to buy more militarized equipment / tanks and guns, and the police will work alongside the military to aid in the enforced lockdowns across the nation. This will happen as the economy gets worse and worse, causing people to take to the streets and riot for food and support. More people will be arrested and jailed for rioting. So, more people will be jailed, but they're not going more people are going to be jailed without given the right to go before a judge for a bail hearing or anything. The wait will be days, months, weeks, until it would take months, days, possibly weeks, and even years in some cases for them to even be brought up on charges. So it's gonna, for them to even be brought up on charges or to be charged with something or even being declared innocent. So some of these people can possibly be jailed, don't go up for a bail hearing for an extremely long time, and they can be possibly innocent, but like, I guess they're going to be put in jail, and nobody's going to care if they get a bail date. You just in jail, and you're basically at the mercy of, whenever they want to let you out. So they're going to be in there with no charges or even being declared innocent. So innocent people are going to possibly be locked up. So privatized prisons will flourish under Biden and Kamala. Let me make sure that's it. Yep, that is it, ladies and gents. We got through it. Okay, so we're at 32 minutes. I definitely want to try to talk as quickly as I can because I don't want this video to be an hour long. I know the attention span of most of you who watch this video is about 30 seconds, but hey, that's the way of the world now. But I definitely want to say that I know the 2 readings that I've done so far, the 2 channeling, channeled messages that I've gotten from my spirit guides and my ancestors have really been doom and gloom. And it's like I kind of, had a hard time contemplating whether I wanted to do it, and I had a hard time contemplating whether I wanted to make a video and put this on the internet. People have been through so much last year. 2020 was horrible. There's a lot of people who lost their loved ones. They're still grieving, and 2021, it's hope for a lot of people. A lot of people who have held on to see it to 2021 are hoping that this year is much better for them, and that a lot of things that they lost in 2020, even though you can never get your loved ones back, I know that a lot of people are hoping that they can get as close to normal and how it was post 2020, as we can, and I'm a realist. Sometimes people look at people who are realists as pessimists, doom and gloomers, but it's all about being able to read the tea leaves, read the writing on the wall, being able to, like lick the tip of your finger and tell which direction the air is blowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, don't do that during COVID. But anyway, that's neither here or there. But I'm just saying, it's like, I just feel that for those who have already been in the know and have already like been privy to this information about, whatever you want to call the powers that shouldn't be, the Illuminati, the Jesuits, all kind of whatever you want to call them. It's, the very few at the very top who have engulfed, this planet in such a prison, and in such a system, that they orchestrate our everyday lives, down to the major events that happen that change our life as we know it, down to the very small, minor, minor little things, minuscule things that may happen. Um, so yeah, like I don't want y'all to think that I am trying to depress people, that I want people to give up hope. Um, but the best advice that I can give you from a non licensed uh, whatever standpoint is that you definitely have to be connected to the creator. You definitely have to you definitely should. You should be connected to the creator. You know, whatever religion, whether, because I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim, I'm not any denomination whatsoever. I just would like to say I'm spiritual, but for me, I pray to the Most High God. I pray to my ancestors. I pray to my guardian angel. I pray to the archangels. And that, is the spiritual forces that have gotten me through 2020 and a lot of things that have happened in my life. I'm definitely going to talk further about the crazy last like 3 to 4 years that I've had that I've had recently. I'm definitely going to talk about what have sent me on such a long 4 year hiatus from YouTube. I'm definitely going to get into that as I go along. I just got so many things, going on in everyday life, to where, things like this, I kind of like end up deciding to make a video for my Evolution of Conscious Observer channel, when I feel like it's something really pertinent that you guys need to know. So hopefully you can listen to this video and then go and listen to the video on the election. That one is not as long as this one. So I think you all enjoy that. Just skip past the part where it talks about Trump and Mike Pence still being in office. That is still up in the air. We don't know what Trump has up his sleeves. So yeah, don't just completely write me off and count me out. I still got the comment section under that video disabled because look, I wanted people to listen to it and not get distracted. If anybody have, a response or a rebuttal, take that up with yourself on your own channel and make a response. Do whatever you got to do in life and get glad. So with that, Conscious Observer signing out. Thank y'all so much for listening, and I'll be back with another video. So peace.